The nation is so obsessed with the presidential election, it steals attention away from other races that are extremely important, especially the races for control of the United States Senate. Right now, the Republicans hold control of the Senate with 53 seats. That means they control all of the 24 Senate committees, including the most important of all, the Judiciary Committee. Over the last 4 years, we've seen how important that committee is with the confirmation hearings of Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and now Amy Coney Barrett. It's simple. If a party controls the White House and the Senate, they control the future of the Supreme Court, because the Constitution makes it clear that only 2 government entities get a say on Supreme Court nominations. If the Democrats take the White House and they take the Senate and they keep the House, they can take total control of the federal government, because they'll have the ability to add justices to the Supreme Court, and nobody can stop them, because the Constitution doesn't say how many justices the court is supposed to have. And it's not just the Supreme Court, it's taxes, it's the budget, it's foreign policy, it's investigations. The Democrats will have complete control of everything with no roadblocks, because they will control the executive branch and the legislative branch. So let's take a look at some of the key Senate races, starting with one of the few bright spots for the Republicans in Alabama, where Democratic Senator Doug Jones is pretty far behind in the polls against former college football coach Tommy Tuberville. If that holds, the Democrats would have to pick up 4 seats just to create a 50-50 tie. That's only happened 3 times in American history. The last time was after the 2000 presidential election. The Constitution mandates that when there is a tie in the Senate, the vice president gets the deciding vote. So one of these two may decide who gets control of the Senate. One of the problems the Republicans are going to have in holding on to the Senate is that there's almost twice as many Republican seats up for election than Democratic seats. The only other Democratic seat in any jeopardy at all is Michigan Senator Gary Peters, who's in a very tight race, a surprisingly tight race, with 39-year-old African-American former Army helicopter pilot John James. Even the New York Times had a headline this week showing they're surprised that this race is so tight. That's it for the Republicans. At this point, so close to the election, it seems like 2 is the most seats they could flip. For the Democrats, 2 seems to be the least amount of seats they'll flip. This is a chart from the Cook Report. They are the authority when it comes to political races. It shows of the 23 seats held by Republicans that are up in 2020, 2 are expected to flip over to the Democrats, 9 are toss-ups, and there's 3 more where the Republicans have a slight lead. They lean Republican. That's a total of 15 seats that could go from the Republicans to the Democrats. The 2 races where the Democratic challengers are expected to win and pick up those seats are in Arizona and Colorado. In Arizona, former astronaut Mark Kelly has a pretty comfortable lead over Republican Senator Martha McSally. And then in Colorado, former governor, Democratic candidate John Hickenlooper also has a lead over freshman Senator Cory Gardner. Democrats are going to take more than that to take the Senate, but taking the Senate is a distinct possibility. These states you see in red right now have Republican candidates that are up for re-election. So in Maine, in Montana, in Iowa, in North Carolina, in South Carolina, and there are 2 seats in Georgia where the races are all in statistical ties right now and considered toss-ups. I'll tell you what, if the Republicans were to lose North Carolina, South Carolina, or one or both of the seats in Georgia, it would be devastating to the Republican Party, because the South has always been their firewall, electoral votes that they can count on. This would show a new weakness. I will point out that because of his performance at the Amy Coney Barrett confirmation hearing that was widely praised, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is starting to pull ahead of his Democratic challenger, South Carolina Democratic Chair Jamie Harris. And also in North Carolina, Republican Senator Thom Tillis is also starting to pull ahead because his opponent, Cal Cunningham, is in the middle of a sex scandal. There are a lot of scenarios and a lot of moving parts, but it is possible, with a record turnout because of mail-in ballots and a very passionate anti-Trump vote by Democrats, that we could have a blue tsunami with the Democrats taking the White House, taking Congress, and as we said, they could pack the court and then also take the Supreme Court. The concern is, if that happens, that the most extreme proposals from the far left of the Democratic Party would be pushed through unbridled. There will undoubtedly be pressure from the left to do just that. Then we'll see if Joe Biden, should he become president, is really a moderate. And we'll also find out at 78 years old if he's strong enough to stand up to a tsunami. I'm Larry Mendte. We'll talk again soon.